I'm working in the New Perspectives Microsoft Access 2010 textbook. I'm in tutorial 3 on creating queries, beginning on page AC121. I'm going to create a multi-table query, and then I'm going to sort that query. As I go through these steps, I'm going to make some common mistakes to try to demonstrate what it looks like and how to fix it. So we're going to start by clicking on the Create tab on the ribbon, and we're going to create a query in Design View. It will open up the Show Table dialog box. Instead of using the Show Table dialog box, I'm going to do this a different way. So I'll close. And I'm going to bring in the two tables by dragging and dropping them. So I want the Customer table and I want the Contract table. As I drop the Contract table in, because these two tables are related, you should see the one-to-many appear between the two tables. Now there are some issues with the one-to-many. Sometimes when you open and close the query a number of times, you no longer see the one-to-many, you just see the join line. If that happens where you don't see the one and the many, you just see a line. If you just see the line, then what you should do is go look at your relationships and make sure that the relationship is still established properly in the relationship window and not worry about what it looks like in the query window. It does happen. Okay, I'll go ahead and close my navigation pane, and I'm going to start bringing in the fields that I want. I need city, company, first name, last name, signing date, and contract amount. So I'll start with city, company, first name, last name, signing date, and contract amount, and I just double click them in. Now at the bottom of page 122 it asks me to save the query, but I'm not. I'm going to go on to this next step so that I can demonstrate an error. I'll go ahead and run the query, and I should have 64 records because this time I've included the contract table and there are 64 records in the contract table. Let's just take a quick look at that to verify that information. And there you see 64. With that established, I'll close the contract table. And now, over on page AC123, we're asked to sort on the city field. So I'm going to choose the city field, click the drop down arrow, and I'm going to sort A to Z. So I performed my sort. Now I'm going to save the query. So go ahead and click on Save. And this query is going to be saved as Customer Contracts. Okay, I'm going to close the query and reopen it. See the interparameter value. This occurs because the sort was created before the query was saved. Now if you remember, and you can reverse this tape to see what it looked like when I created the sort. When I created the sort, the name of the query was Query 1. Then I saved the query, and so it's looking for a field called query1.city. That's the field that it wants to sort on. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and as you can see, the sort is gone. And I'll show you where this sort is stored. So we go into Design View, and I'm going to open up the Properties box. And from here I'll click back on the query. If you click on a gray area or blue, depending on how you have your colors set, around the field list, it should give you the query properties. And on this General tab, come down here, it says Order by Q1.city. That's where that error is coming from. If I take that out and close my query again, I'll save it, and then I'll open the query. The error is gone, but so is my sort, and I'd have to sort it again. There we go. Now if I save it again, I'm going to close it, and you'll see this time it'll open up fine. The sort's still there, and there's my sort. It's looking for the name of the query, then the name of the field. Pretty crowded window there. Okay, now what we've been asked to do actually is override this sort by putting in a city sort and then a contract sort. If I'm trying to do this in Design View, I can sort by taking two fields that are together, and I can sort A through Z, so it's going to put them first by city and then by company. And that's the only way I can do it. That's the only way that I can do it in Datasheet View, is I have to choose contiguous fields. In Design View, you have much more control. Really recommend that you do most of your sorts in Design View because they're obvious and you have a lot more control. So I'm going to start with the city sort ascending, and then I'm going to go on and find contract amount, and I'm going to sort it descending. Now the way that Access works is it sorts starting from the left and moving to the right. Since city is the field furthest to the left, it's going to sort it first, and then within the city it's going to sort on contract amount. I'm going to make my columns narrower here so you can actually see that. I have Battle Creek. There's 3 occurrences of Battle Creek, and you can see it's sorted descending within Battle Creek. East Grand Rapids, sorted descending within East Grand Rapids. I'll go ahead and save that. That's the way I wanted this to work. And I'll resize my columns. I'll select them all and I'll resize them. Now what's going to happen when I resize those columns is that Access resizes to the current view. So it's going to resize these columns fine, but we're going to scroll down to see if they really are fine. And it takes the last column or last columns and basically makes them narrow so that they fit within the current view. And what I might have to do is make one a little narrower, resize it, and then resize this one, and it will work that way. And then I'm going to scroll down because also anything that is off the screen, like Kalamazoo Neighborhood Development, is not wide enough either. So I'm going to have to scroll again. There, looks like I got it that time. That was a design change, so I'll need to save it. So in this segment, we looked at creating a query in Design View, adding 2 tables, looking at a common problem where we've sorted before we named the query and got the query1.city error, which you will see that. And also we looked at resizing in Datasheet.